Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Niners Empire on the Man Hour Show. On this episode, I'm going to I'm going to break down the roster. I'm going to tell you who I think is going to make the team and who I think won't. In the second part of it, I'm going to break down the schedule from week 1 to week 18 of them. And then at a later date, if they make the playoffs, I'll break that down. So, starting, we'll break down the roster. I don't believe they'll keep three quarterbacks. I think it'll probably be two unless they bring a quarterback in from another team or free agency. Um, from what I've heard, Brock Purdy does not have a strong enough arm to be an NFL quarterback, so he's not going to make the team. And like I said in my first video, I do not believe Jimmy Garoppolo makes the team. So the quarterbacks will be Trey Lance and Nate Sudfeld. And I hope San Francisco signs a better backup because Nate Sudfeld has been terrible in training camp. So, based on what I know now, I will just go with Lance. Trey Lance will be the starter, obviously, and Sudfeld will be the backup. I do not see them paying a backup quarterback $27 million. If they can get Jimmy to accept a backup quarterback job and take about a $20 million pay cut, I'm fine if they keep Jimmy one lead. So with that, I'll move on to the next spot, running back. In my opinion, I don't think this is too difficult either. Elijah Mitchell will be the starting running back, followed by Tryon Davis-Price, Trey Sermon, and then that last roster spot for running back will be highly contested between Jeff Wilson Jr., Jermichael Hasty, and Jordan Mason. From what I have heard through training camp, Jordan Mason is playing very well. So we'll see. They might be able to get away with keeping Jordan Mason on the practice squad. And Jermichael Hasty, I don't think makes the team. So it's really, in my opinion, between Jeff Wilson and Jordan Mason. The fullback, it's obvious Kyle Juszczyk isn't going anywhere. He's a stalwart. He's the best fullback in the NFL. So even although there isn't that many fullbacks still left in the NFL, it's kind of a dying position. But anyway, we move on to wide receiver. Obviously, Deebo Samuel is a lock. Brandon Ayuk is a lock. Brandon Ayuk has played very well in training camp and has done an excellent job so far. He looks like a number one wide receiver, so which is good. That means the Niners have two number one receivers. Awesome. But the question marks are after that because none of them have really done anything in training camp to to uh, to write about or to mention. But most likely it will be one Juwan Jennings. He used to play for Tennessee in college, and there's a lot of Niner fans that believe he's going to elevate. He's going to raise his level. We'll see. Remains to be seen. And that'll probably be followed by Ray McLeod. From Pittsburgh, he played for Pittsburgh last year. He's a kick returner, so he's obviously going to stay because he'll probably return the kicks in the punts for San Francisco. And then third round rookie Danny Gray will probably be the last one. I don't think they keep 6 or 7. I think it's 5. If they keep a sixth one, my guess is it will be Malik Turner, former Cowboys receiver. The rest of them are practice squad level guys at best. So there's that. And then on to the tight end spot. George Kittle's obviously a lock. And then just like receivers, a bunch of question marks. If Charlie Warner can get health off the pup, he'll be one of the. They're only going to keep three tight ends. If Charlie Warner can get off the pup, he'll be probably number two. Um, number three is probably going to be Ross Dwelly or Tanner Hudson, one of those two. And whoever doesn't make it will probably be on the practice squad because I don't think anybody's going to sign either one of them. Maybe Tanner Hudson might get some looks, but Ross Dwelly, I don't think so. And then we move on to offensive line. I'll start with the left tackle. It'll obviously be Trent Williams. He ain't going nowhere. He's the best left tackle in the NFL. And then we'll see how many offensive tackles they keep. I'll just say they keep two. And the backup is Colton McKivitz, so he'll stick around. And Colton McKivitz can play tackle and guard. So the Niners like to have the versatile players along the offensive line that can play every position or at least tackle and guard. Then left guard is going to be Aaron Banks. He's going to be the starting left guard, most likely. With Jalen Moore plays tackle and guard, so Jalen Moore will probably back him up. He'll probably swing between, the Niners like to have the backup offensive lineman be able to play tackle and guard, like you just said a minute ago. So I got Jalen Moore slotted to be the backup left guard. At center, it's probably going to be Rendell and Donovan West if they keep two centers. But I would like them to keep Donovan West, cut Rendell, and sign J.C. Treader. But for some reason, J.C. Treader hasn't been signed yet. He might have a medical issue. I don't know. At right guard, I'm expecting Daniel Brunskill to be the starting right guard with Spencer Burford backing him up. Now, Spencer Burford has been starting at right guard the entire training camp. And that's because they've had Brunskill try to play center because they're not happy with Brendel. But Brunskill has done worse than Brendel at center. So might as well keep Brunskill at the position where he's at least adequate. And eventually Spencer Burford will take his job. At right tackle, it'll be Mike McGlinchey at starter, and if they keep a fourth tackle, it'll be Justin Skule. Now, Justin Skule and McKivitz are probably competing for that swing tackle spot. That first tackle off the bench if McGlinchey or Trent Williams get hurt, or they just need a breather or something for some reason. So that wraps up the offensive side of the ball. On defense, obviously, we'll start at defensive end / Leo because the Niners have a Leo spot and the defensive end spot. So at defensive end, they'll probably keep two, maybe three, I guess. But the two I got them keeping most likely at defensive end is Nick Bosa and Kamoko Toure. He played for the Colts last year. He's a versatile guy. He could play defensive end, but he also plays that Leo spot well. And same with the guys I have at Leo, Drake Jackson and Samson Ebukam. Both of those guys could play defensive end or Leo or outside linebacker. So it's going to be a versatile defense. Now at nose tackle / defensive tackle, this is where I have them keeping about 5 or 6 because they've had issues with injuries. So they've always kept between 4 and 6 defensive tackles / nose tackles because they like to have that depth inside. And some of these guys can even play in. So, like I said, the team likes to be versatile along the line, along the offensive and defensive line. They like guys that can play multiple spots. So at defensive tackle, I got Arik Armstead, Kerry Hyder, and Kevin Givens. I think those are going to be the three. They brought in Robert Nimdiche, Thomasai Lulio, and Akeem Spence. I, I, I suppose one of those three could upset the three I have making it, but I just don't see it happening. But those some they might put those guys on the practice squad. I can see that because depth. And then at nose tackle they got Javon Kinlaw, Hassan Ledre, and Kevin Atkins. Like I said, six inside defensive linemen that can swing out to the end if necessary. So going forward with linebackers, I have them at 5 or 6 linebackers as well. At the Mike linebacker, Fred Warner and Aziz Al-Shayed. And if they keep the third Mike linebacker, it'll be Demetrius Flanagan Foles, is my prediction. The other guys are just young, the practice squad level players. I don't see them cracking the 53 unless an injury happens. At the will linebacker spot, it's going to be Dre Greenlaw and Oren Brooks. Oren Brooks is primarily a special teams player. And teams need special teams guys to play. So, and then if they keep a third will linebacker, there's only 5 of them on the roster right now. So it'll be either Curtis Robinson or Segun Olubi. His name is probably not pronounced correctly. Sorry about that, but I don't know. I don't think they'll keep more than Greenlaw and Brooks. Those other two I mentioned, the practice squad with the guys. And on to the next cornerback. This one's a little difficult because they're kind of deep with guys. They got right now on the roster they have Travarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Ambry Thomas, Samuel Womack, Diamador Lenore, Dante Johnson, Tariq Castro Fields, Marquez Bernard, and Kadar Pullman. And they got Jason Verrett on the pup. So if Jason Verrett comes off the pup list, he'll make the team. But if he doesn't come off the pup list by the 53, he'll be on the pup, and he'll probably miss the first 6 games or whatever it is. But the guys I'm gonna say make the team on the 53: Travarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Ambry Thomas, Samuel Womack. And then I think it'll be between Marquez Bernard and Jason Verrett. If Jason Verrett is healthy by the cut down, he makes the team, and Bernard does not. If he's not, Bernard makes the team. That's how I think that'll play out. At safety, free safety, I got Jimmy Ward. Strong safety, I got Tarvarius Moore. He is recovering from a torn ACL. But he's played very well in training camp this year. And if he can stay healthy, I think he starts at strong safety. With Funga backing him up, and George Odom would be the backup free safety backing up. And George Odom is another special teams ace, excellent player on special teams. So George Odom would be the backup to Jimmy Ward, and he's also played decently well at safety when necessary, but he's primarily a special teams guy. And then they also got Taylor Hawkins That's it. Taylor Hawkins, Quintrez Knight, and Leon O'Neal. More practice squad level guys. And then the special teams, you got Robbie Gold at kicker. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. You got Mitch Wishnowski at punter. He's not going anywhere. And Tabor Pepper is not going anywhere. He's the long snapper. On the injured list right now, on IR, it's defensive tackle Maurice Hurst, tight end / wide receiver Jordan Matthews. On the pup list, you got Jason Verrett, corner, and Charlie Warner, tight end. Those two can get off the pup, they'll make the team. If not, they'll be on the pup. Probably miss the first few games. And then the active non-football injury list is a guy they drafted, nose tackle Khalil Davis. He was never expected to play this year, so it's not a big deal. We'll see what he's got next year. So that's the 53, and I'll move on to the active roster or to the schedule. Week 1, they got the Chicago Bears. Everybody knows the Chicago Bears are terrible. They won't. It, this this is a good game for Trey Lance to get his feet wet and to build his confidence because they're not a threat. They're not a threat at all. It should be an easy victory for the 49ers. I expect them to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, um, because Lance is inexperienced, and they're not. You're not going to see. You might see a couple wow plays, but actually, yeah, I expect a few wow throws, but that's not going to be. They're gonna live off the running game. They're going to control the game. He's not going to be throwing all over the yard, launching 50, 60-yard passes every other play or anything like that. I do expect them to have one or two long, deep passes to show off his arm, you know, and everything. But I expect the game to be managed by Kyle and Lance very well. And then on to Seattle. Seattle is like Chicago. Until they figure out their quarterback situation, they are no threat. This should be another simple game for San Francisco to take care of, and an easy victory. The next game against the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. Now, this game, Russell Wilson, for some reason, has always played well against San Francisco. So, but Denver's lost a key receiver. I don't, I don't believe that'll make a huge blow. But we'll just see how healthy Denver is when this game is played, and how healthy San Francisco, for that matter, is. Um, but I'm going to be unbiased here, and I'm going to say Denver gets this win. I think Denver. Russell Wilson's familiarity with the 49ers. I think they by sneak by them in a very close game. I'll say that Denver slips by 3 points or less. 3 points or less. So that will put them at 2-1. And then the next game is against the Rams. The 49ers have owned the Rams the last going on 4 years now. The Rams have one victory in 8 tries. Do I think 49ers will sweep the Rams this year? No, I do not expect that to happen. I do think the Rams will win one of these home games, one of these games against the 49ers. Now, as a Niners fan, I hope they sweep them. I hate the Rams. The Rams can go fly a kite as far as I'm concerned. But I'm trying to be unbiased and realistic. The Rams will probably get them at least once. Uh, will they get them in this game, though, in week 4? I would say no. I would say the San Francisco 49ers win this game. Um, I think they run the ball. I think they will run the ball a little bit, but I think this game is a coming out party for Trey Lance. I think he has a big game, and I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have a big game because Jalen Ramsey is going to be covering Deebo Samuel all over the field. He's going to be chasing little Deebo around, trying to stop his runs, his catches, Deebo is going to be awesome this year as well. And the Rams, they got Ramsey, but they don't really have a starting level corner outside on the other side of Ramsey. So I think Brandon Ayuk is going to pop off. Um, I'm not going to say the Niners are going to blow them out by any means, but I think they win by 10 points. Um, and then on to the next game. So that would put the 49ers at 3-1 right now. And then they get the Panthers next. The Panthers are a confusing football team because they got lots of talent on both sides of the ball, but for some reason they can't get it together. We'll see how Baker Mayfield plays, or if he loses the starting job to Sam Darnold, we'll see how Darnold plays. Um, but I don't expect this game to be that competitive. But if Christian McCaffrey is healthy and playing well, maybe it's closer. But from what we know about Carolina, Niners will probably win this game by at least 2 touchdowns. So that puts them at 4-1, and then they got the Falcons, who are going to be terrible this year. They're just they're just going to be bad this year. Um, so that should not be, that. So the Niners should win this game going away as well. So like another game where they win by 14 to 20 points. So that puts them at 5-1. Then they get the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Kansas City Chiefs have to come to San Francisco. And we don't know what Kansas City is going to be this year. They got Kelsey, yes. They got Mahomes, yes. They have what after? What do they have on like Juju Smith-Schuster, Nico Hardman, Sky Moore? I think is who they drafted. Just a lot of unknowns. They don't really they don't have much on defense. So I think this will be a close game. Patrick Mahomes will probably pull off some magic. So I'll say the Chiefs find a way to win this game close. So that'll put the 49ers at 5-2. The next game is the second game against the Rams. I think the Rams will win this one because it's in Los Angeles. So I'll say the Rams get this one. That makes the 49ers 5-3. Then they get the Chargers. See this is that brutal mid-season schedule. The Chargers, I don't know. It depends. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to say the experienced 49ers slipped by the Chargers right with last second field goal. So that makes them 6-3. And the Cardinals ain't going to be nothing. They'll be an average team at best. They'll be an average team. So I'll say the Niners win by a touchdown. because division games are always close and very competitive. So that makes them 7-3. The Saints is the next game. The Saints is another team that we're not sure. We don't know if Kamara's playing in the game because he could be suspended. Let's see if Michael Thomas, the receiver, is healthy. I'll say Niners win that game by 7. 8-3. Dolphins, fastest team in the league probably. Um, but Tua, questions always come back to Tua. If Tua plays well, I think they can win. If Tua don't, they won't. Um, so I'll go with the experienced team. I'll say the 49ers win for 9-3. Take them down by 7 to 10 points, somewhere around that range. The next game, the Buccaneers. Tom Brady against his hometown favorite team. Let's see where the Buccaneers are at. I'll say the Buccaneers win that game. Just too many weapons. Tom Brady playing his old team, plays his favorite team. Not his old team, the team he wanted to play for, but the team that Kyle and John apparently didn't want him because I don't know. I don't know why you turned down the best quarterback of all time. I mean, dumb. Really dumb. I really wanted to retire 49. Will, I guess. So, as we move on, I think Buccaneers win that game and send the 49ers to 9-4. Seahawks, an easy game. Seahawks won't beat the 49ers. How? They still have no quarterback. If you have no quarterback, you're not going to win very many games. Simple as that. So that's 10-4. Washington Commanders. Carson Wentz. Enough said. Let's see how he's playing. Let's see if he's even healthy. Carson Wentz is injured again. And Taylor Heineke, who the kid they drafted, Sam Howell from North Carolina, the quarterback. We'll see if Chase Young, when he's going to come back. I heard he's not going to start the season. He's going to be out at the beginning of the season. So we'll see when he gets healthy. If he's kind of like Nick Bosa. Makes a huge difference on the defensive line in front of that defense. So see about that. Our offense, we got Terry McLaurin, beast baller, very good receiver. Outside of Terry McLaurin, he's going to step up and help him out. He's going to run the ball. Don't buy it. So I got them. 49ers winning that game. You're going to 11-4, I believe. 11-4. Then they get the Raiders in Las Vegas. Now this game is going to be fun. The Niner fans and the Raider fans hate each other. I think the last time they played, someone was stabbed in the crowd. So I'm so very surprised to let these two teams play, in a game. So let's pray. Let's pray. Hopefully, everybody, all the fans, stay safe with that game. But this game, I'll say the Raiders win. Too much talent on that Raiders team. I think it'll be a close game. If the Raiders win and send the 49ers to 11-5. Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals beat the Niners one time. Yes, I know. Cardinals beat the 49ers last year with Colt freaking McCoy. But still, they do not have Chandler Jones. They lost Chandler Jones to the Raiders. So there you go. So they're not going to have much of a pass rush. J.J. Watt's cold and washed up. We'll see if Hopkins is playing by now. Kyler can't do it all by himself. He needs help. I don't think he's going to get it. I think Nick Bosa is going to be all over his ass most of the times they play. So Cardinals went. The 49ers went. My bad. And go to 12-5 to close out the year. I think the Cardinals will go 12. Cardinals. The 49ers will finish the season at 12-5. Oops. I forgot to switch this thing over. So that was my regular season projection. I got the 49ers finishing 12-5. As far as stat predictions, uh, I think Lance will probably pass for 35 to 4,000 yards, 3,500 to 4,000 yards passing, somewhere around there. We'll probably have about 25 touchdown passes, and I'll say about 12 or 13 interceptions, somewhere around there, because he's young, he's going to make mistakes. But I think Kyle and the team are managing well and trying to limit his mistakes by running the ball a lot. I think Kittle's going to play very well. I think Kittle's going to stay healthy all year because he's not going to have Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him hospital balls, getting him hooked. Deebo Samuel is going to be a monster. He's going to probably have somewhere between, my guess, Deebo Samuel will have 600 or 700 rushing yards and probably about 11 or 1,200 receiving yards. I'll say about 4 rushing touchdowns and about 5 or 6 receiving touchdowns. If not, maybe 8 receiving touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, though, that dude, I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have 1,000-yard receiving season. I think he's going to. I think Deebo. Well, I'll go back to Deebo for a second. I think Deebo is going to catch probably about 60 or 70 passes. I think Brandon Ayuk will catch about 70 or 80 passes. And I think Brandon Ayuk will have 10 touchdowns. And like 12, and I'll say somewhere between 9, I think somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 yards for Brandon Ayuk. And I think Kittle's going to have somewhere between 800 and 1,000 yards, and he's going to catch 6 or 7, like somewhere between 4 and 6 touchdowns as well. The defense, I think, is going to play very well. I think Nick Bosa is going to have 12 to 15 sacks at least. I think Drake Jackson the rookie is going to play well. If he gets that Leo spot, I think Drake Jackson will have 7 or 8 sacks at least. I think Travis Ward will get 4 or 5 interceptions at least. I think Jimmy Ward will get a couple of interceptions. He's not really known for interceptions, but because of the defense, I think he's going to get a couple. Fred Warner is going to probably lead the team in tackles and get a couple interceptions. Hopefully, Kinlaw stays healthy all year. I think Armstead will play well. He usually does very well. And the Niners are going to go 12-5. I think I think they have an opportunity. They have a chance to do better than that. But I will be non-biased, and I think they can at best. I think that they can go 13-4. 13-4 is maybe 14, maybe 14-3. But at worst, if things go bad, they can do what Michael Buckminster said and lose 9 or 10 games. But I don't expect that to happen. I think they'll play well. The schedule's not too terribly difficult. They got a handful of games that are very difficult. That Chargers game, that Chiefs game is going to be difficult. The Broncos game, the if the Raiders play well, that'll be an interesting. There's there's like 6 or 7 interesting games that could go either way, and the rest are basically easy. So I think it's going to be a solid season, and I think a lot of Niner fans will be happy and they'll be content with however the season plays out, no matter what happens. Will San Francisco go win the Super Bowl with Lance, the first year starter? Probably not. But as a fan, all I expect and all I want him to do is, and all I want to see is the Lance to play well and show promise and show that that he's not a bust, that he has a future in this league and is going to play well. Um, I think any Niners fan that expects Lance in his first year to go win the Super Bowl would be a little unrealistic. People need to people of this team, and this goes for every team, but fans need to manage their expectations. You look at the roster of your team, you look at the state of the rest of the league, and you have sensible expectations. When you have unrealistic expectations, that's when people let it ruin their day or their month or their life. This is just football. We all love the game. Manage your expectations. For some of you, for Niner fans, manage your expectations. Don't be criticizing Lance on every pass. He is effectively a rookie quarterback. He will make mistakes. He will throw interceptions. He will probably lose a game or two because of those bad decisions. But he's a young kid. Don't crucify the kid. He will he will play well, I think, and in the Niners' future is a lot brighter with Lance than it is with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is 30 years old, injury prone, has been awful in the 4 playoff games that he played in, has literally a 19 QB rating, no touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, and has only like 500 passing yards in 4 playoff games. That is why Jimmy Garoppolo is on his way out the door. Can he get you to? Can he manage the game well enough to get you to the championship, the conference championship, and the Super Bowl? If the running game and the defense are playing great, yes, we saw him do that. But he's not going to win you the game with 500 yards passing in 4 games, no touchdown passes, and 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter of said playoff game. That's not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. It never has been. It never will be. The only way that's even remotely possible is if the defense is amazing and the running game is amazing, and then that falls back on the coach. Like in the Chiefs Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan should have kept running the ball. He should have known that Jimmy was not good enough to get the job done, and his only chance to win the Super Bowl was to keep running the football. If he would have kept running the football, then I my guess is they beat the Chiefs. And Niner fans, you remember the Super Bowl against the Ravens, who had first and goal inside the 5-yard line with Kaepernick and Gore and Moss and Crabtree and Vernon Davis, I believe. And what does Jim Harbaugh do? He throws the ball. He has Kaepernick inside the 5 throw a fade route 4 times in a row to Michael Crabtree instead of giving the ball to Frank Gore or letting Kaepernick try and run it in on a read option. Countless teams have lost the Super Bowls because they didn't run the ball. 49ers, twice. Seattle, the Falcons against the Patriots. Seattle against the Patriots. And then I'm sure there's a plethora of other teams that have lost the Super Bowl because they did not run the football. My guess, when I think about it, well, I know what's been reported. Seattle didn't want Marshawn Lynch to win MVP. That's why they threw the ball, and that's why it was intercepted, and that's why they lost the game. And when you look at in the Niners cases, Kyle Shanahan was probably throwing the ball because Jimmy Garoppolo was catching all that heat because before that Super Bowl, he beat the Packers when Jimmy only threw the ball 8 times. 8 times he threw the ball, and they won the game going away because they ran the ball for almost 300 rushing yards with Raheem Mostert. That dude was a freaking monster. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo had nothing to do with 49ers beating Green Bay in that conference championship when they beat them 33 to whatever. It was like 33 to 14 or something. Because the Niners defense shut down Green Bay's offense in the running game for the 49ers, ran over the freaking Green Bay Packers defense. And then when you take it back to the Super Bowl where they should have run the ball against the Ravens, Colin Kaepernick. Why didn't they run the ball with Frank Gore and Colin Kaepernick? Jim Harbaugh is an idiot for that. A stupid idiot. That's probably why that game probably cost Jim Harbaugh his job. That game may be why Jim Harbaugh never coaches in the NFL ever again. Do I think if Lance balls out and shocks the world, do I think the Niners could win the Super Bowl? Yeah. But do I expect it to happen? No. It's not fair to Trey Lance. It's not fair to the team to expect them to go win the Super Bowl with a second-year guy that has minimal play experience playing. Could he pull a Patrick Mahomes? Could he pull a Colin Kaepernick? Yeah, definitely could. I hope yes. I would be like happy. I would be giddy if that happened. But, and frankly, this conference is setting up for the Niners to be very good. When you look at the Rams, the Niners have the Rams number. They do. They should have beaten them in this last time in that playoff game. And Jaquiski caught that interception. And then look at Tampa. How good's Tampa gonna be? We don't know. Is that Tom 45? I just saw a report this morning that they said Tom's arm looks better than it ever has. So I don't know. Is Tom going back to the Super Bowl for the 8th time? We don't know. But if Tom doesn't get there, who's going to make it on that side? The Rams probably won't get back. And Dallas has won 3 playoff games in 25 years. So, and they got 1 wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup is hurt. James Washington is hurt. And who else? Who after that? Rookies. Nobody. And then Green Bay. Who's there on the ball to? Who's there on the ball to? And we already saw Aaron Chokes in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about Green Bay. And then who do you got after that? I think this entire conference is up to Tampa Bay and San Francisco. Nobody else is in the Rams. I guess you got to give the Rams a little credit. They did go win the Super Bowl. But will they get back to the Super Bowl? I don't believe so. I think they're not going to be a bad team this year. They're going to be a contender. They're going to be an issue. You're going to have to solve that issue, obviously. Just because you've owned them the last 3 years doesn't mean you're going to continue to own them. I do believe they will. But it's not a sure thing. So What else are we going to talk about? Um, yeah, AFC though, that's brutal. It's one thing to get through the NFC, the easy NFC, but you're going to have to beat that AFC team to win the Super Bowl. And that's not going to be no joke. You got Buffalo who's rolling out, who looks good. You got Kansas City. We don't know. I'm sure Patrick Mahomes will turn a couple of those kids into those receivers into one. At least I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is going to turn one of those receivers into a superstar. Probably Sky Moore. Um, but I don't trust the defense. I think Kansas City's defense is significantly weaker. They don't really have a running game, so it's going to be up to Travis Kelce, who is 31, and Patrick Mahomes, and whether Patrick Mahomes and Andy Lee can find a gem receiver or two. Um, and then you look at other teams like Cincinnati; they're not going anywhere. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Um, Joe Mixon running back. Yeah, Cincinnati's not going anywhere. Um, and you got Cleveland. Um, who knows what happens with this Watson thing? Turns out if you miss the 6 games, you know that the first 6 games are relatively easy for the most part. Um, and then and then he'll be back, and we'll see how he plays after so much time off. And then you got Baltimore's obviously a problem. Steelers, I don't know how relevant they're going to be. I heard today that Mitchell Trubisky was terrible and has played terrible. So are they going to go? And they said Trubisky is terrible, and he's still miles ahead of Kenny Pickett. That's not good. That's bad. That's very bad because they drafted him. So if he's not even close to being ready for Pittsburgh, that is a problem. Maybe Pittsburgh treats him. I don't know. But Pittsburgh has a quarterback problem. So they're probably going to be last in the division. It'll probably be Tomlin's first losing season, which is amazing. Mike Tomlin has been a great head coach. Um, and then you and then Baltimore is going to be a problem because Lamar Jackson is a great runner, and he's I'd say he's an average passer and an elite and a elite runner. And then you got the Chiefs division. The Chargers are stacked. You got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. They got J.C. Jackson in the corner. They got Derwin James the safety. I think they got a few other corners too that are really good. And then you got the offense with Eckler and Herbert and and um, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. The Chargers team is no joke. I think the Chargers team. Yeah, I think they have potential to win. I think the Chargers are talented enough. They should win that division. They should win the AFC West. Will they? I don't know. But the Chargers or the Raiders have the talent to win the AFC West. Will they get it done? I don't know. Denver, Russell Wilson. We'll see how good Wilson is outside of Seattle. We'll see if Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Melvin Gordon and Williams, the second year back. We'll just see how good that team is. The defense, I heard, was doing pretty well. And this comes to the Raiders now. The Raiders team is loaded on paper. But now Josh McDaniels has to prove he can actually head coach and he's not just an offensive coordinator. Because they have Derek Carr, they have Josh Jacobs, there's a rookie running back that's played very well. They got Kenyon Drake at running back. They got Devontae Adams at receiver. They got Hunter Renfrow at receiver. They got Darren Waller at tight end. That offense is no joke. They are legit. I think they got Keelan, former Jaguars receiver that had a couple good games for them too. The defense, I don't know about. They got Chandler Jones. They got Max Crosby. Those two are a pass rushing duo that not a lot of teams is going to be able to match. So we'll see how that plays out. And then you move to the Colts, and you got the Colts division, the Colts, the Titans, the the Colts, the Titans, the Texans, and the Jaguars. The Texans, I think the Jaguars will be better, but they're still not going to play off team. The Texans are going to be about the same. They're in that dead zone. The Texans will probably lose most of they're going to lose most of the games. They'll probably lose 10 or 12 games. The Tennessee Titans are going to be a worse football team. They're probably going to go 10. They're probably going to go 7-10 or whatever, 7-10, 6-11, something like that. The Tennessee Titans are a worse team. Ryan Tannehill is not a good quarterback. He is an average quarterback at his best. At his highest level, Ryan Tannehill is a average quarterback. Derrick Henry, is he going to be healthy? Is he going to stay healthy? He's got a lot of miles on him. I play fantasy football. I'm not touching him. Too much mileage on him. And the Colts, I think they're going to be one of those teams that wins 10 or 11 games. They're going to win that division by default, effectively. I think they'll be a solid team, slightly above average team, but that's about it. And then I guess I'll go back over to the NFC since I'm apparently breaking down all the divisions. I said I think the Niners win the NFC West by a game. I think they above they finish above the Rams by a single game. I think I said the Niners will go 12-5. I think the Rams go 11-6. Although that depends on Matt Stafford, because apparently I heard Matt Stafford has elbow tendonitis on his throwing arm. So that tends to linger. So we'll see how that plays out. And then I think the Cardinals are going to go. I think Arizona's going to go. 9-8. I think Arizona was 9-8. And then Seattle, I think, is going to win 3 games, 2 or 3. I think Seattle will have the worst record in the NFL and finish with the first, and they'll get the first pick in the draft and draft a new quarterback. And then I'll go. I'll go to Tampa Bay's division. I think Tampa Bay finishes with the number 1 seed. I think Tampa Bay will win 13 or 14 games. I think New Orleans will be right behind them. I think they'll win 10 games. I think New Orleans will go 10-7. I think Tampa Bay will go 13-4. I think 13-4. And then Carolina will probably win 7 games. I'll say 7-10. I think Atlanta wins 5 games and goes 5-12. And the Eagles, I think the Eagles will win 10 games. They'll go 10-7. I think Dallas Cowboys are going to probably win 9 games. It'll be close. It'll be a terrible division, like it always is. The Redskins, I think, will win 8 games. No, not the Redskins, my bad. The Washington Commanders will win 8 games. The New York Giants will win 5 games. And Daniel Jones will be replaced. And moving to a backup quarterback. Moving to being a backup quarterback. Um, and And with and then NFC North, sorry, brain fart. I knew I was missing a division. I actually think the Minnesota Vikings are going to surprise people. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to win the division. Green Bay has gotten worse. So I think Green Bay will finish second. Don't relax, everybody. I don't think they're going to go from first to worst or something. I think Green Bay will finish second. I think Green Bay will win 9 or 10 games. They might get a wild card spot. We'll see. I think Minnesota is going to win 11 games and win the division. I think Green Bay will finish with 9 or 10. They'll be right behind Minnesota. I just think Minnesota is going to be just a touch better. So I'll say Minnesota is 11-6. Green Bay is 10-7. I think Detroit's going to surprise a few people. I think Detroit's going to go like 6-11, somewhere around there. 6-11 or 7-10, somewhere around there. And I think the Chicago Bears will have the number 2 pick. I think Chicago Bears will win like 4 games. I think they're going to win 4-13, whatever that would be. They're going to win 4 games. Yeah. All right, it's been on about an hour. I think this video went a lot better than my first one. Thank you guys. Thanks anybody who watches this video. I appreciate it. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, just hit me up with a like, a share, a subscribe, a comment, anything, all that jazz that goes on. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do what I need to do because I would like to be a podcaster or a YouTuber. It'd be a fun thing to do. So I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll see you on the next video. Deuces.